You ever seen that episode of the Boondocks when Riley was playing basketball? I mean, my man's had the coldest handles. The coldest handles. But guess what? He couldn't shoot. That's you. You got all these bars, all these flows and melodies, but you can't mix. So here is 7 reasons why your mixes are trash. Reason number 1, we're gonna start with gain staging. If you hitting the red from the jump, you already cooked, bro. If you're hitting the red from the jump, you're already cooked, right? Let me give you the sauce. Let me break it down in my terms, because when I break it down in my terms, y'all seem to understand better, right? So when you messing with that gain knob, the more you crank it, the more you hear. So you got to think, when you messing with that gain knob, do I want to hear only me or do I want to hear the neighbors too? So you got to find the right setting to where it's only picking up you. Like my gain staging right now, pretty good. My kid is right behind me playing the game, talking. Can you hear him? Probably not, because I got my gain set to capture me, not the next room. Get what I'm saying? Reason number 2, way too many plugins, man. Bro, y'all plugins look like somebody gave you the EBT card and you went shopping. You know how the receipts be? Like, I could grab one end of the receipt and you could take the other end of the receipt and run to the other side of the store. That's how y'all plugins, that's how y'all vocal chains be looking. And the reason why y'all vocal chains look like this is because y'all have all these different plugins trying to fix different issues within your vocals, when in reality you should have fixed the issues before you even made it to the plugins. If the vocals are damaged before you start adding plugins, don't add plugins. Record the vocals again. We all know people who think because they work out, they don't have to eat right. That's pretty much you with mixing. You got all these fire flows, these ill bars, and these crazy melodies, and then you pair them up with a bad mix. Basically, you put in 93 octane in a hoopty. You feel me? Like, you putting all this gas in a hoopty. You putting all this premium in a hoopty? Wouldn't you want these flows, these bars, and these crazy melodies to be paired with a good mix so you can showcase your talents at the peak? You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm here, man. We got to fix that. We're going to fix that. It's okay. I understand. I was once there. Let's get right. Reason number 3. You have no EQ priorities. What does that mean? You don't even understand what you should be doing with this EQ or with every EQ you use. Your EQs are there to create space. A lot of y'all be scared to turn things down because y'all just love hearing everything so loud that you don't understand there's an art to turning things down, turning some things up, and finding the balance. Mixing is about finding the balance. You have to create space for everything. So your EQs are helping you create space for everything. So sometimes we need to turn this down and turn this up a little bit. Or sometimes we need to turn this down so this can shine a little bit more. Get what I'm saying? Don't be scared to play with the EQ, to get everything in the right pocket, because that's what it's all about. A good mix has everything in the right pocket. Nothing sounds like it's taken away from the other thing. The drums aren't taken away from the vocals. The vocals aren't taken away from the piano. The piano isn't taken away from the hi-hats. The hi-hats isn't taken away from the snare. You get what I'm saying? You gotta find the right pocket for everything. Reason number 4, we got over compressing. See, on one hand, y'all scared to really get down and dirty with this EQ. On the other hand, y'all over compressing. Because for whatever reason, I was once there, things do sound a little better when it's super compressed. But you gotta understand that that compression isn't the answer to all the questions. It's just not. You cannot smash everything because at the end, everything is smashed. Nothing is living how it should be. The vocals aren't breathing. Your drums aren't hitting. You know, your snaps aren't snapping. You get what I'm saying? Like when you compress everything, you're like taking the life out of everything. So you gotta be very, very, very strategic with your compressor. Your compressor needs to be very on point so everything can live how it's supposed to. Because if you're over compressing, by the time you get to the end, your song is gonna be really quiet and you're gonna be like, why can I barely hear anything? And if you ever been there, then you know. But if you haven't been there and you get there, now you know. If you ever get there and you say, bro, what did I do, bro? You overcompressed everything. I've done it before. It's okay. The first step to recovering is admitting. We all know people who avoid the real issues, right? They just avoid the real problem. Like, you know that's probably the problem, but you don't really want it to be the problem. So you try to find another thing that could possibly be the problem, and you go that route because you really don't want to address what you know the real issue probably is. And that's you with mixing. Like, you know, you probably don't record the best. You probably don't have the best techniques and the best practices. But you keep telling yourself that it's the plugins. I need more plugins. I need better plugins. I need to go buy Lil Baby preset. I need Gunna's preset. No. It's not the plugins. It's not the fact you need Lil Baby's vocal chain or Gunna's vocal chain. You need to really learn how to record. It's that simple. But I'm here to help you. So let's get back to the 7 reasons. Reason number 5. Y'all fall in love with that reverb. Boy, that reverb be getting y'all. I know it's something about adding that bounce to the vocals. You know what I mean? That, you know, creating that space around the vocals. It really do sound good. But you gotta understand that less is more. When it comes to that reverb, less is more. Unless you're going for a specific sound where you need that reverb to be juiced up. Other than that, when it comes to reverb, less is more. You hear me? Less is more. Okay? Because a lot of y'all, man, when it comes to that reverb, y'all be sounding like y'all live at the Bikini Bottom. If you know, you know. Y'all sound like y'all live at the Bikini Bottom. You know where the Bikini Bottom at? If you know, you know. 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 And if you know, comment down below. You know what I mean? Reason number 6. Y'all completely ignore the fact that mono and stereo is a thing. There's a difference between mono and stereo. You need to really analyze your mixes in both situations. That's why a lot of times when y'all done mixing, y'all go to the car and it completely falls apart. Want to know why it fell apart? Because you were so focused on the mono that when you took it to the car and you played it on your car stereo, it didn't really sound too good. And then sometimes y'all are so focused on the stereo that when you hook it up to that Bluetooth speaker, it don't sound good. So understand that there's a difference between mono and stereo. And you need to understand how you can switch between the two within your DAW. Bills, 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 it's like our destiny. Consistency and all we desire, that's the recipe. Anybody praying I fall, already dead to me. I'ma be the greatest, that's facts, not allegedly. I was holding on to the hurt, I had to let it go. It was detrimental to me, I chose to steady grow. Niggas out here buying growth. Pay for all them streams, you are not a goat. Fake views is how fake niggas really cope. Here's a rope, and how are you the butt to every joke? Never stepped on, daily pure. Now, some dolls make it very simple. Some dolls don't. Either way, you need to figure out how does your doll allow you to analyze both of these. All right? Very important. We need the mono and the stereo to sound very identical. I need my mix to sound the same in the car, in the studio, and on a Bluetooth speaker. All right? So, don't forget this when you mixing. Before you export, before you say, I'm done, I got it. Ooh, this the one. And then you go outside and your feelings hurt all over again. Not again. You know why? But I'm here to help you. So hopefully you take notes and the last time was the last time. You good. We all know those people who are always like trying to find the next way to like get rich quick, but it never tends to work. That's you with mixing. Like, you on YouTube copying everybody's little vocal chain, every little setting, but you don't understand how it works. This is why we don't take shortcuts. Because if I go from here to here, but I never really traveled from here to here, I'm missing everything in between. You know what's in between? Everything you need to be the best you when you get to your destination. So how are you gonna be a good engineer if all you ever did was copy other people's settings? All you ever did was go purchase that Gunna preset. All you ever did was purchase that little baby preset and you just ran with it. Now look, if you're an artist and you like, I never really wanted to be an engineer, I just want to get my music done, I understand. This ain't for you. I'm talking to the ones who really take this serious, like who really want to, you feel me, like you really want a sauce. You know what I mean? Like, if you know who you are, you know who you are. There's no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts, man. Figure out why the EQ is the EQ. Figure out why the compressor is the compressor. You gotta go in there and just mess with the knobs and understand, like, oh, when I do this, this happens. When I do this, this happens. And guess what? Once you start to understand what happens when you move certain knobs, when you listen to your mix, you say, that high end's a little harsh. I know what plug-in to go to. Let me go to my EQ. Oh yeah, let me hit this high mid frequency. Let me hit this low mid frequency. Oh, that low end's a little tough. Let me hit that low end up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you start to understand why you doing it. And when you understand why you do it, you know when to do it. And when you know when to do it, you good. Number 7, you don't use reference tracks. Yeah, reference tracks. No, I'm not talking about the ones where Quentin Miller was, doing a little something and sending it to Drizzy. Nah, I ain't talking about those. Nah, man, I'm talking about you go get a track that is basically your end goal. All right, this track is your end goal. You want your mix to sound as close to this as possible, and you compare your mix and you tweak things to get your mix as close to this track as possible. Now, you may think, nobody do that. Bro, a lot of the big engineers, your most successful audio engineers, They all do this, bro. They all do this. They all have that one song that they just think is mixed to perfection. And that becomes their reference track. And every time they mix a song, they compare it to that track. So find that song that you just love how it sounds and use that song as your reference track. I do it all the time. I hear songs and I go, damn, this sounds good. And I would use that song to compare my mix in hopes to getting my mix to sound just as good as that, if not better. If I feel some way I could, tweak it to make it just a little bit better, which is kind of hard though, because in your mind, like I said, this track is damn near perfect. So, yeah, use reference tracks. They won't hurt you. They will only help you. Now listen, your mixes don't have to be trash. You just gotta listen, take notes, and apply what you just learned. You feel me? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And let's make the next mix the best mix. You feel me? Let's make your next mix your best mix. But like I said, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Cause like I said, man, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. So man, apply these 7 reasons to your mixes. All jokes aside, hopefully this video helped you and it was a bit entertaining. Cause man, hey, who wanna learn from a square? You feel me? Who wanna learn from a square? I'm done. I'm gone.